Hello, everybody out there in video land. We are here at the studios of 4680Q Radio.
We're also
This is Dave Wheeler. My name is Paul Kalamir, and we're doing a city council review today. That's what the big deal is, Davey boy.
Indeed.
We do it once a month, whether the people out there need it or not.
Whether they want it or not, especially.
You are on video. So at the end of the day, you're going to be talking to those people out there on YouTube. Now, this is a wonky setup here because the stand broke, the foot on my stand broke. So if you see us just tipping to the side, you'll know that it fell over. And we got background noise there, people gabbing out there like there's no tomorrow. I mean,
contractor out there talking to somebody.
They're just yakety yak, don't talk back.
Vinyl siding, evidently, but it's not concern of ours.
No, not a concern of ours. Vinyl siding we don't care about. So anyway, you should be able to hear us fine because we have microphones and everything. And plus, we're doing the radio show too. So we're doing the podcast. So we're killing two birds with one stone here, Davey boy.
Yes, indeed.
So what do we got here? I'm going to talk about my sponsors first. Okay, and then we're going to get right into the city council agenda. We're going to be moving a little bit fast through it. It's pretty long. I anticipate these guys will be there for a while tonight, so you're going to have a great show from 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock tonight or something like that, unless somehow they find a way to move through it. Anyway, my sponsors, Wild Bill Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Now, it's hot out there. And I'll tell you, if I didn't have my air conditioning on when I was coming in here, it would be a nightmare, right? So you want to make sure all your systems are go on your car. You know the kids are off school. You know you're going to be going to probably Muskoka or somewhere. They're going to be in the car. If anything breaks down, it's a miserable trip when you have kids that aren't happy. So go to see Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's. Take your car in. He's going to put it on his diagnostic equipment, tell you what's wrong with your car, fix it, and get you out of there happy and safe for the summer. Check your brakes, change your oil, do everything you need to get through the summer. And if you get him in a crash, guess what? He's got a full body shop to take care of that too. So Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and he is on Oakwood Drive, just next door to the Kia dealership. Easy to find and easy to make sure your car's ready. Good for the summer. Everybody's happy. Okay, Davey boy, we're going to scoot through this first little bit real quick. And we got to get through it here because there's a lot going on. It's 12 pages long, and we have a bunch of comments. So, Canada, Juliana Cicchino, singing live in chambers.
Cicchino.
Yep.
I looked it up in the spelling.
My friend's John Cicchino, and I call him Cicchino. He never corrected me once.
Oh, okay. Well, it anglified the name. I looked it up on how to pronounce it properly.
You're not Italian.
I am 1/4 Italian.
Are you? Yeah. Which quarter?
My father's mother.
Your left foot.
My father's mother, yeah.
My mother's father. Yeah. But anyway, Juliana Cicchino or Cicchino or Cicchino or whatever you want to. Anyway, congratulations, Juliana. I know you're going to do a great job. Land acknowledgement from the one of the Matee guys gets up there and gives a little speech about how they own the land and we took it from them and we want to share it now and be nice to everybody. So that's good. I mean, I like that. Adoption of minutes from last meeting, disclosures of pecuniary interest. Anybody who could make money from anything going on with city council can't vote. If they have an interest in it, they can't vote. Then we go mayor's reports and announcements, and that depends on how big of a show the big show wants to put on. It could be minutes, it could be hours. We don't know. We never know when the mayor gets up there and he's giving out awards and everything else.
It's his time to grandstand, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the next
because he knows that if he's going to get any face out there, it's at the beginning of the meeting, of course, because that's when people will likely watch and will turn it off later.
Well, at the end of the day, you're right, because really, he gets the breaking vote on anything, and the council makes most of the decisions between them. So, deputations, presentations, appointments. They have some speakers. Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. They're going to do a presentation.
Joy Gua. It's spelled GE, but according to Mandarin, like they did the same pronunciation thing for the other one. I looked it up, and it's GE, Joy Gua, but I think it's in Mandarin it's Gua. But you never know. I don't know whatever dialect her people come from. In any case, you may have anglified that as well. But she is sort of an exemplary student, apparently.
There you go. And congratulations to Joy G. Yes. I think that's probably Vietnamese or something.
I think it comes up as a Mandarin name.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
as Goya, but it could exist in other languages. Who knows?
Yep. So they're going to give a presentation. Yeah, if you want to watch it, watch it. It should be pretty interesting. But congratulations to these kids. They're getting into politics and understanding how everything works. So good for them. Because we've been doing it all our life, and we still don't get how they make decisions down there. Believe me. Niagara Falls, Canada Hotel Association. This has been postponed. Dougie Burrell was supposed to come in and talk about it, but he's not going to this week, so we'll hear from him maybe at another meeting. But this week, we're not going to hear from him on this meeting, so forget about it. Our Niagara Falls plan progress update on the new official plan. Well, at the end of the day, they do what they want, so all their planning, I mean, you can't plan for tomorrow, never mind 50 years from now, so.
Well, I don't know how many like they're in partnership with the planning partnership is called or something like that, or planning partnership. And it's the official plan initiation project. So they're consultants. They're consultants, and so I'm wondering how much that consultancy fee is going to cost us, because it's a combination of staff plus the planning partnership they call themselves.
Oh, I see. I see.
And it's supposed to be for our official Niagara Falls plan, because the one devised in 1993 is just way out of date, and that's there to replace it. And we've known from the past that we've kind of thought of ourselves as becoming the Vegas of the North, which didn't happen, or the Canadian Monte Carlo, that didn't happen. So when we had these ideas, we thought we were going to have boutiques and fancy people and yachts coming up to the falls. When we put in the casino, well, that didn't happen either. So yeah. I don't know what they had planned in 1993, but it's time to change it.
Well, I mean, they were going to be having flying cars and everything else. So I mean, the Jetsons never transpired. We're still on the ground, and we can't even figure out electric cars. So we're not going to be flying in cars anytime soon. They may plan for it, air highways.
Oh, I mean, the one I bought, I got ripped off, man.
Yeah, if they can spend money on it, they'll plan for it, believe me. Then they go in camera. So now Wheels called this right on. I said they might go after the planning, but Wheels said, no, they're going to go right away, because some of the planning matters needed legal advice. They have to go in camera. And Wheels was right. Kudos, Wheels. You called it right on. So I don't know what you're calling for this one, but it's scheduled to go before the planning meetings. And there it is right there. So you think they're going into camera before the planning meetings, or?
I believe so. There's a few things here that may require a bit of talking. And before I go into that, as an aside, I think these in-camera readings should happen some other time. They should certainly happen. They can happen at any time. And also the mayor's big blab about his deputations and all that. He can do that at a different time, a special time in the week where everybody can tune in, and he could probably expand on the deputations or any kind of acknowledgments anyone wants. We always want to slow this or speed this system up, but they haven't made any efforts in it so far. That's one thing they could do. So they have this building announcement in 7.1, building amendments. They want to take land that is designated for tourists area. It's north of Marineland Parkway there. It's in the really kind of on Portage Road. So they're going to need amendments. Oh, there's Tim Zaffley.
Yep. It's where that water tower used to be, by the way.
Yeah, it is right in there.
Oh, look at him. He's out there. He's Taco Tim. Taco Tim. Taco Tim. There he goes. He said Taco Tuesday at Grand Central. You knew he was going to be. Look at him. Look how fast he goes.
Well, he's got a good chariot there. Yeah,
he got a new chariot.
A buddy of mine just got a new one, and it's like fabulous. It's state of the art, man. It lifts him up.
Yeah, that's what he did the other day. Yeah. I couldn't see him hardly. And all of a sudden, he came up in the window.
Perfect.
Yeah,
they make those things good, but they're costly. About $18,000 or something.
Oh yeah, they're expensive. But for somebody who's disabled and can't get around, I mean, they're the cat's ass. Some of them even climb stairs. Not that one probably, but there are ones that he climbs stairs.
What about the flying wheelchair?
Yeah, maybe. With the Jetsons.
The Jetsons, yeah.
Never had disabled people on the Jetsons.
Yeah, how come? I didn't have any brown ones either.
They wouldn't allow that today. There'd have to be all kinds of people on it. They didn't have a lot of stuff on Jetsons. Just white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. That's all.
That's
They were
right.
smart enough to build flying cars and
Yeah.
cities in the sky. Hey, we digress. But anyway, it's at Greenland Parkway, like you said, proposed 29 and 38-story towers. Staff is recommending council approve it, but there are 35 pages of site conditions.
Yeah. So this is probably part of what the camera thing is, because there's a lot of conditions here. There's the ground they're putting it on. It has to be archaeologically tested. It has to be, the buildings themselves have to have wind tests. There's all manner of things that have to go to convert this from tourist to residential. I mean, it's probably a good idea, but one of the objections, of course, here was a letter written by an 82-year-old lady, and she cites the traffic and stuff that might be there, and shade and things of that kind. And that is a condition. Where you are, you're going to exit out on McLeod Road. You know.
I think you're confusing it with Allendale Avenue. That's where the lady on Murray Street was had the letter.
Oh, okay.
This one here, there's nobody around. I don't know what 35 pages are. Mostly there's a letter from Washington Mills saying, hey, listen, we're noisy and we're dirty.
Yeah.
We're noisy and we're dirty. And we know that people, when they get in there, are going to start saying, hey, we're noisy and we're dirty. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they're going to have a problem with noise and dirt, and people are going to start complaining. And the guy said that on the bottom floors, like the lower levels, not a problem because you have all the brush and bush around that are going to protect them. But when you get to the actual top floors, that noise is going to be apparent like all the time. It's never going to end.
That's right. Yeah, it's 24-hour operation. It's electric furnaces, right?
Yep, exactly. So that's what these 35 pages have conditions about this and that and blah blah blah. I mean, 35 pages of concessions they have to make to be able to do it.
Remember what they did to the Lineup, which is also an electric furnace outfit. That was right on Stanley and Thorlstone Road, remember? And they pretty well chased it out because they didn't want that loud, noisy factory. Well, that loud, noisy factory employed a lot of people.
No, exactly.
And there were good paying jobs with pensions and all that. And they didn't want it anymore. They wanted to go more of the casino, the classy route. I mean, if you keep telling yourself you're classy, there's something tells you that you're not, if you have to tell it to everyone. So you don't want to lose these jobs. All right. So they were there long before you were. And if you do build that building, you are going to get continuous noise. And believe me, it's only half the operation it used to be, but if it ever expands again to where it was, I mean, I worked in there. I worked on the big Queen furnace. I worked on some of the smaller furnaces. I was a craneman in there. Man, when they start arcing, you know it. You know, it makes a big, big noise.
Yeah, then you have Solid Steel across the street, which are always dealing with steel making noise. So that's the concerns, but there's a bunch of other conditions too in there. And I guess the developer is going to have to knock them off one at a time to be able to build. But if this goes up, it is a beautiful development. It looks fantastic.
It does. It does. And you're going to have a beautiful sight of the river from there.
Beautiful sight of the river. You're going to have the stores down the bottom. It's going to be something to see if they build these. I mean, if they build them, and this is the problem with Niagara Falls, we can rubber stamp and approve all this crap that they come up with, these developers. But are they ever going to do it? And I think this one, no, the other one's Rudan. I don't know who's doing this one, but I guess if you throw enough rice at the wall, some of it's going to stick. That's got to be City Council's mantra, because at the end of the day, I mean, when you think about it, who the heck is going to build these things? Nobody started anything. The only one that I've seen started is the one on McLeod Road at Sharon Street, across from the fire hall.
All right, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've saw it. Yeah, yep.
It's really nice, and it is exactly like the depiction when they actually laid it out in front of City Council, and they've actually built it, which amazes me because a lot of stuff doesn't get built. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So this is beautiful.
Well, a lot of that stuff is modulated now, where it's in completely built sections somewhere else. They don't have to be inbuilt. They just have to be fastened, basically.
Yeah.
You know, when they get in, they get the kitchen, they just fasten it in. They don't have to put it in, and I mean, all that's all set up.
Modular.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
we'll but I would say, just as a one more thing, there's going to be 812 people in those two buildings.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's going to be at least 2,000 cars, right? And where are they going to exit? McLeod Road, where we already have what? Traffic problems.
Yeah, well, it's just another McLeod Road fiasco, starting right from there all the way to basically the QEW and even further to Kayla Road, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the other place they can go on to is Portage Road and go up that way, but that road is like a freaking one wagon road. I mean, you get down there with your car, you're hoping you don't hit the guy coming the other way, right? It's like, and there's no room to expand because you have the escarpment that goes down to the falls right there, and the hotels and that on the other side. So it's a wacky place to get in and out of. Probably they're going to put a stoplight there, another stoplight. Of course, they'll have to. Right now, it's just basically a stop sign. You make a right or a left, and then you come the other way. It's kind of a little entrance to get in there, but it's just a small little road. I mean, it's not meant to carry a lot of traffic, and we always worry. And of course, I don't know if this is the one. One of them has 1.04 parking spaces per unit. This could be it. And here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again. And also, I never read, I don't know about you, but I didn't read anything about affordable units, did you? And being in that location, I doubt if they're going to try to put anything affordable. We're supposed to be having 40% of the new builds affordable. That's what it says. That's what it says in the city plan. That's the objective. I can't see any of those being affordable.
No, I mean, two big towers like that, they're going to be big time
with
money.
Views.
You got to look at Buffalo and the river and everything else.
Yeah. So there you go. There's another clash there. Everybody's shooting for the high end real estate. There is no, if the city hall wants to look at this, they're going to have to insist that some of that's affordable. I would have to say that they would have to. And affordable here is very low compared to anywhere else. I mean, $90,000 is the average household income here. The average household income for a single person is about 63 or 64,000.
Yeah.
That means if you have a $90,000 household income, that means only $30,000 of it can go to rent. If you work that out, you're not going to. Those people who are building them are going to want a lot more than that.
Oh yeah. If you want to rent them, you're going to pay more than $2,500 a month. And if you want to buy one, you're probably going to pay in excess of $1 million.
Yeah, but particularly where it is. So there's no. What we really need in this town is affordable housing, and we keep saying it over and over again. But when the developer comes into town, no, he's not interested in that. He or she, they want the big kahuna.
Sure. Well, they'll probably throw in, out of the 800, they'll throw in 20 affordable units. What they're going to be is one bedroom bachelor type of things.
One at the back,
700 square feet or something, and they'll squeeze them in just so that they can say they've got some affordable. But you know what?
I thought that was the garden shack. No, that's your unit, man.
But even at that, affordable housing. There's Omar. Every day he comes by. Affordable housing is only affordable if you can afford it.
Precisely.
There you go. So, okay, so we're moving on to 7.2, another build. This is on Allendale Avenue, and if you go down Main Street, you come to the crossroads of Allendale, Murray Street, and there's like 5 corners there, and it's in that little plot across on Murray Street. There's a little plot of land. So this is where your 82-year-old lady wrote a really nice letter, handwritten.
I must have hit the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And it was a handwritten letter. Very nice, nice hand she has. Nowadays, no one will do that anymore because they don't even teach kids how to do cursive anymore.
No.
So handwriting is a thing gone to the prehistoric pretty soon.
Yeah.
If I write somebody a note, they won't be able to read it.
Exactly.
But anyway, so the lady wrote a nice note, and she was worried about how that would affect their neighborhood. And there was another lady that wrote in, I think it was a lady that wrote in, and she was also worried about the parking, the amount of people
shadows,
going to the casino.
The wind.
Yeah, all those things. And that is because the tourist and residential things, huge residential things, are encroaching on well-established neighborhoods.
Yes.
And they've been around for a century and a half, and all of a sudden, no, we're going to put you in a shadow because we get this big building here. And they have a lot of money to make their will felt.
Well, Rudan is the one I think building. This is a build by Rudan. The guys who have that parking garage that never went anywhere, and the other thing for the 72-story tower. So we'll
Yeah, they're
see.
still not working on that one, are they?
Yeah, none of them have even worked out. So we'll see if they get to this one and actually build it. See, this is the thing. And really, once again, the design is beautiful, fits with the area along Main Street. Of course, looking for 1.02 parking spaces per unit.
Oh, come on.
So they
Come
want
on.
one. And they always say, because city council lets them get away with this, they don't adhere to their bylaws. They always say that, well, there's transit there, buses go by there, and everything's right there. You can walk to Main Street and get mugged. I mean, it's a
Bus service in this town is not adequate enough. It is not adequate enough for anybody to say you can't have a car.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have a car.
Well, and we know
you can talk to anybody that cannot drive for one reason or another, and whether it's a medical issue or whatever, but they can walk, cannot get around on the transit system in anywhere in Niagara region.
And you know darn well that families have 2 cars today. Not
Easily,
too many
yeah.
families have 1 car because you need to get by today.
You got the kid that stays at home because really, then that can, if it's an apartment, it doesn't matter. The kid's going to stay at home, and he or she has to stay at home. So where else are they going to go? Because it's going to take them a while to establish themselves in the work field, get enough coin to be able to get their own place. They're going to need a car to get to work. The public transit is just not adequate in this town, and I'm not blaming anybody for that because of the way our town is. But to use that as an excuse to have a smaller parking spaces, no. If anything, you need more electric cars are coming.
But staff says, and I'm just going to grab a pen down here. I'm not doing anything weird. Staff says that they've approved it. They said it's approved. Everything's good. So
well, they are, but it still has to get past the council. If there's any councilors listening right now, they should put that out. Like we keep cutting back on the parking spaces, and that's no good. Right. And for the other thing too, you keep making these allowances, hoping they start building, but they're not building. And the reason is they don't have enough tradesmen out there. They don't have enough guys to do the work.
That's another problem, yeah, that people forget, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why these buildings, you can throw as much money at it as you want, but you still have to build it, and you can't create a tradesman out of the sky. And believe me, I've gone around and saw some of the guys that are working out there, and they're not trained. I've done construction or things like that my whole life. These guys, like most of them are new Canadians, and they have not been properly trained. Have not.
Yeah.
So they're what they're going to do is they're not going to do it on purpose, but you're going to get slipshod workmanship. Your kitchen cabinets are going to fall down when you use them, that kind of thing. So you just don't have enough boots on the ground.
And once again, we hope that they build this. I mean, yeah, the thing goes through, they pass it, and they put all these 3-year sunset clauses on and everything else. But the bottom line is we have so many projects in this city right now that are just sitting. We have a giant hole on Ferry Street where Cupolos used to be. We have a giant hole at the boathouse in Chippewa where the boathouse used to be. We have a building on the corner of 4th Avenue and Bridge Street that's halfway built and just sitting there with paper blowing around on it. There's just a lot of builds that are on the books that never come to fruition.
Well, that's no trick. Dig the hole, and then once you dig the hole, then you can always get a stay, because once the hole is built, the city figures, well, they've built the hole, right? What are we going to do? Fill it in if we whatever something? What are we going to do with it?
Swimming pool.
So we got to let them continue, and that's what happens. And they'll let them continue for another until they get too fed up, and then they'll do like 1 level or 2 levels. It's depending. I said before, it's boat resources, manpower, mostly.
Yeah, and money and interest rates. These interest rates went up, but these guys just couldn't get the financing. That's all there is to it. They didn't have the availability to get it. So, okay, 8.1 reports municipal accommodation tax.
Yeah, the MAT.
Yeah, the MAT. Now that's an interesting one. $2 per room that they rent. That's what they're getting in the MAT, and the MAT has collected over $10 million since its inception. And Niagara Falls' cut of it being about $500,000, well, 5% we get of the total. They've used the funds for various marketing initiatives, Winter Festival of Lights, curling, drone test, etc., in the city, including fireworks, which I thought was paid for by the Parks Commission. But there was an entry in there about that, and I just don't know where that came from. But regardless, taxpayers are not funding any of these programs because they're all funded by this MAT. Now, it's interesting to note that most.
Well, this one mostly is dealing with the transit accommodation, which is a part of the MAT, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The other taxes, the illegal ones that these hotel owners put on stuff, they're not even legal, so they shouldn't be doing it. But city council allows them to, just making Niagara Falls more of a ripoff. But this MAT is like an actual legal bylaw tax. And now it's interesting to note that most municipalities that have the MAT, and a lot of them do, as a percentage of take, usually 3 to 6%, then the city takes no less than 50% of that rather than a flat fee. We take $2, but most cities charge 3 to 6% on the sale, and then the city gets half of that rather than a flat $2 a room.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's if you dig into this, you can see all the different ways the different communities deal with this. And of course, you were talking about the ones who knows are, and I think that's the one that ticks people off the most.
Yes,
and it could be valuable, but in here it does show you a breakdown of where the money's going to go, where the money's going. But the tourist tax prior to this, if you try to put a microscope on that and try to find out where it went, you couldn't find anything. Right? As a matter of fact, at one time there, the Wynne government allowed it, but made sure everybody know that you could refuse it if you wanted.
Yes.
So you could refuse it, and you'd be within your rights to refuse it. And that was her judgment, but she wasn't going to stop them from collecting it. And I'm not so sure. So it says a bunch of programs here: curling, sponsorship, fall campaign, Winter Festival of Lights, and all these things. And it's got how much money. But I like to see the paperwork. Has any counselor seen the paperwork? Has any counselor seen, right, an accountant's report on where this money goes, the pluses and minuses? You don't even need a forensic report, but you do need that so you can say, okay, fireworks cost $500,000. And then you look into it and find out, oh, wait a minute, it only costs $200,000. Where's that $300,000, right?
Yeah, so we need an accounting of it so we can reconcile it against what we take.
Yeah,
and what our take is.
Yeah, and it shows here where a lot of that's going, but like this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. They just say it; they don't put it down. At least not in my experience. And anytime anyone asks where it is, they just say that we use it for these things, but they don't actually show you an accountant's role.
Exactly. Well, it's funny that other cities do it a bit differently and probably end up getting a little more than we would if we went to 3 to 6% of whatever they charge for a room, right? Rather than $2 flat rate. So I don't know if council will say anything about that. I hope they do. I hope somebody gets up and asks, just like you did, for an explanation of it, and where could we see an accounting of it, and why are other cities charging more than and getting more than maybe we are? Now they might not be making more total because we're the king and the granddaddy of tourism in the hotels.
Yeah.
But still, when you look at their take versus what the hotels get from it, right, or whatever, because the hotels are charging 5%, and we're getting $2.
Yeah, like a place like Sudbury's 4% and all that.
Yeah.
And it does say that, like, say someplace like West Lincoln, I think, where they're just trying to start their sort of tourist destination. It's not really hot up there and everybody's tourist destination, but Lincoln, it says 80% of the funds that they collect will go to the new destination marketing organization, Niagara Benchlands.
Yes.
So what they've done is they've taken that money and invested it in more tourism, basically, or to attract more tourism, which is a smart deal, a smart deal.
That's
of course, they don't need fireworks up there.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what that comes out. It's going to be an interesting topic of discussion tonight at City Council. Now, 8.2 is Community Development Program and Industrial Development Charge Exemption Incentives. And this is for businesses that either want to expand or come in to give them development charge exemptions. And we've seen this, happening, but we've also seen it in the old Drummondville where they give people who want to recondition older houses in that area. We see them give them some grants to be able to help them to keep these old houses going and the incentives. So there is kind of programs like this, but this is more for industrial development, which I think, at the end of the day, most cities do anyway. Most municipalities do encourage industrial people to come in and open their business in the area. And the ones that are here already, we don't want to lose them. We want them to expand and get bigger if possible. So they give them some incentives to do that.
Well, to reduce the charges and the taxes on it, look what's happened to places like Texas. They did that, and guess what? They just pretty much vacuumed up all kinds of investments. They
That's
just
right.
like everybody's relocating to Texas one way or another. Tesla's there, for crying out loud. He moved from California to Texas because of the favorable tax. If your city council or provincial government can see that by reducing taxes to make it inviting for people to invest in industry, will in the long run pay off, because they'll get the tax money and from the people who work there. So there is that line. How much are we going to benefit? How much can we get by reducing the amount of taxes they do? But definitely, you want to incite people to move here and develop.
Build.
Yeah,
And develop.
yeah.
We need that. So that's being recommended. They approve it, so it's going to be approved. I'm going to get to my second sponsor because we're hit the halfway mark here.
Oh, get out.
It's supposed to be the halfway mark, but who knows? We got lots to talk about.
Yeah.
My second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Now, if you've ever gone through a neighborhood at night, you see these houses lit up beautifully, but you don't see any light. Where's this light coming from? It's Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. They're the leaders in permanent track lighting on houses. So rather than you climbing a ladder and maybe falling and breaking your neck, putting Christmas lights up, cords all over the place, it looks terrible. They put it on track lighting. And all the track lighting is LED, so easy on your pocketbook when it comes to your meter going around and around. And also, they're all sealed from dust and water, so they're going to be up there. You're not going to have any problems with them. There's a million different color combinations, controlled by your phone, by the way. And you just pick orange for Halloween and green for St. Patrick's Day, red and green for Christmas, white and red for Canada Day, whatever you want. Anyway, if you celebrate Prince's birthday, you put it purple. What do I know?
Yeah.
Right? But either way, they're basically invisible on your house. They safely light up walkways. You can have them bright white if you want. And they add value to your house. I mean, when people see that, they go, wow, I don't have to put up Christmas lights anymore. Thank you very much. 10-year warranty, financing available if you want to Griswold your house, really take it to the max. So they got it all. How do you get these? Well, you call Colin Buckborough at 289-969-1797. He will come over, give you a free estimate, and that's it. You get them done professionally. So that's Colin Buckborough, 289-969-1797, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And if you want to see some pictures of how beautiful these houses are, just go to glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds, glowstonelighting.com. Check it out. Tell Colin, Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. He's going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. Hey, who knows? Maybe he'll give you a discount. What do I know? What do I know? He might enjoy hearing that you heard it on Your City, Your Voice here. So, Wheels, let's move on to item, what are we at now? Item 8.3.
White drain petition.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be approved. And here's what bothers me about this. I don't care about white drainage.
Yeah.
But what I do care about is they found another $95,000 to spend on it.
Yeah, but this says this will be recouped by the citizens. Am I right about that? That the citizens will eventually have to pay it back. Am I not right about that?
Is that the right one? I don't know about that one, but
I might have got it mixed up again.
Yeah, I know they found $95,000 from the capital budget, which they're going to do a capital budget amendment. So at the end of the day, okay, we didn't have money. So they raised our taxes 4%, and all of a sudden they found $95,000. And this is going to be an ongoing theme as we roll through these today. And it's been an ongoing theme since the budget was passed, because I figure there's about $7 million they found out of nowhere, maybe more. I'm just kind of adding it up in my head as we go, but there's another $100,000 right there.
Yeah, but I think somewhere in here, I'm not sure if City Council chooses to override the recommendations Drainage Act and not charge landowners their asserted costs. So what does that mean? It seems to me that the landowners will probably have to be, like when you get a new drain or you get a new water main or new sewer, you have to pay for yourself right up to your house, right?
Sure.
Something like that. So I think it's probably similar.
I hope so.
That the city's sort of fronting the coin to do this right now because it has to do with sewage and drainage and all that stuff that's very important. And it's close to the Welland River there. So they generally include road authority. And it says recommendations. It says if City Council chooses to override the recommendations in the Drainage Act and not charge landowners their assessed cost, the city sets a precedent that results in all city taxpayers bearing the cost of a municipal drain. So it's not likely that they're going to let that go. I think they probably assess it in a way that whoever's responsible, whoever those landowners are, will pay in small amounts over time.
Well, I certainly hope so.
I think so,
because
but that's what I get out of this. But I didn't have time to really look a lot of the stuff over.
I didn't see any names there. I just saw them with $95,000 they were going to spend. So I'm going, okay. So I didn't notice any other names in that, but because I usually mention that the homeowners are going to pick up the tab or whoever, but I didn't see that in there myself.
It says another consideration is if the city undertakes as a practice to cover the construction and maintenance costs of drains, it would discourage the use of mutual drain agreements under the Drainage Act, which were drains that were built and maintained under the agreement by two or more property owners without going through the petition process. So it really looks like to me that if the city councilors have wisdom, they will not pay for this outright and want that money back. And it can come back in increments, I feel, but they'll have to decide that part.
Okay, and like I say, when I read this, it says Willow Road with a total budget of $95,000 and inclusive of non-recoverable HST, and that they approve it, costs associated with it. So I'm just going by that headline, and we'll see what the council says.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, post-construction, the municipality assumes responsibility for facilitating ongoing maintenance and repair. So that's that one part of it. But I think because it's new and it's a white drain thing, and it has to do with sewage and drainage and all things important, but it's on the people's property. So you and I are responsible for that outside of our house. So they probably will too. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. I guess that's what we're going to find out. That's why we watch City Council, to find these things out that we don't know. 8.4, Council Education Session on City's Housing Strategy. That Council received the PDF and the attached presentation information. I looked at it. I didn't see anything that they were just going to receive it anyway. Receive and file. So
yeah, here you go. Municipalities wield authority to collect drain-related costs similar to taxes.
But that's 8.4.
Obligated. Yeah, 8. No, this was 8. The one before, like the one we had.
Oh, we're on 8.4.
The white drain. Yeah,
you're still on white drain. Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking for those points. Yeah. So sorry about that. It does
That's
say
all right.
It does say that the municipalities should be collecting it through taxes. Yeah.
If they don't collect it from them, you know who they collect it from. You.
Yeah,
me. And John Ringo Beam.
I want it back. I'm going to go over them. That white drain, I want my portion.
I want the white drain money. Give me that white drain money. So 8.4 is an education session, city's housing strategies. So you can read the PDF. Go in there and read it on niagarafalls.ca, City Council agenda. If you want to read that, it's council received the thing, and that's about it. So
what else do they have to know? They've been talking about that kind of thing
forever now. I mean, it's ad nauseum. Every day it seems there's something about the strategy and planning and everything else, and I just laugh because I mean, no matter what, they do what they want. So
somebody in planning is keeping the job.
Now, Gale Center Junior Club Agreement Report. I'm going. This is 8.5. This is where the junior A team wants some money to operate and bring tournaments here, and they need an answer to go to Buffalo and deal with those guys who want to bring stuff here. And these cheapskates on council can support all kinds of nonsense: cars, new pathways, new walking trails, tennis domes, pickleball courts, cricket, whatever the hell they call those. You name it, but they can't support junior hockey, and I've given them the same amount, $60,000. I think that's what it was, rather than recognizing this new advanced level of play, junior A, and give them the money they need to run efficiently and attract people to the city. It makes you mad when they have the mat money. They could kick in for that, because that's like promoting the city. These tournaments, having everybody come here. They promoted the big curling tournament because it brought people here, but they won't give our guys here. I mean, I don't get it. Um, Wayne Gates, the Frito Bandito, he actually sent a letter encouraging them to support junior hockey.
Yeah.
So this is a big
It was
deal.
a nice letter too.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. And congratulations to Wayne for doing that. I mean, they should support this. And I mean, they bring prestige tournaments like the Centennial Cup, which is like the Memorial Cup and Calder Cup to the city. They're going to have that here eventually. And, these are big events in hockey, not to mention thousands of teams that far exceed, your ringette and your skating academy and girls hockey, but they support all them, as much as they can. I think it's very short sighted of council to give them 60 grand and not the 160 that they asked for. It's just like, it's not that much money in the big scheme of things.
Listen to you though. $95,000 we can't have for trains, but 100,000 we can't have for hockey.
This is good. I mean, this is something really good for kids, for the city, for people who are playing accelerated hockey, and they don't have to go to other towns to be able to play and bill it. And they're in town. They can play for our local team. There's a lot of good things that come with this. I mean, white drainage. I don't think any tourists are coming. I don't think they're going to have any tournaments.
Yeah,
the pickleball courts. I mean, what do they generate?
The white drainage convention. But I was yanking your chain. Yeah, I'm completely in concurrence with you on this one. This has to do with you can bring people into town. So this is $100,000 extra well spent. And if they're if they're looking for, they're always finding money for something or another that nobody can agree on. I think just about everybody can agree on this one. It does. It brings in. I don't think it brings in a whole lot of extra money at times, but it sure does help the people feel comfortable with their city having a junior A team.
Yeah, and it's prestige too. I mean, we had junior A teams that won Memorial Cups. And now we lost them because people didn't support them, and now we have a chance to support them for $160,000, and council's balking at it. I mean, guys like Mike Strange went through their whole boxing career by people giving for him as an amateur boxer, right?
Yeah.
So he should understand it more than anybody and be standing up saying, "Hey, don't worry, we're getting you the 100 grand. Go talk to the guys in Buffalo. We'll find it for you and make it happen."
I was watching a lacrosse game last night in St. Catharines, right? I was with the Athletics versus the Oakville Buzz. And that's growing, and the kids there are getting a good thing. I mean, there's all kinds of volunteers around there. There's people selling them tickets, somebody selling them the beer. It cost me a whopping $5 to go see the game. It cost me more for the beer.
Yeah, really, I can imagine. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to be watching that pretty close. 8.6, addendum to the domed Columbaria. Columbaria. Oh, they missed the M.
Columbaria. Well, it's the building of. It's called the Grove Columbarium.
Is that plural?
Columbaria is a. Well, it's a place for, but a Columdarium is actually the actual building.
Yeah, this is all dropping dangling participles.
Why they keep throwing Latin words in it? Well, how about graveyard or above ground graveyard? Something English.
Yeah. So anyway, they're gonna throw another 532,000 into this, and they approved another 345,000.
Yes.
That we never approved in the capital budget when they did it in January or in December, I should say. And here we go. There's 345,000, 445,000. Like, it just keeps rolling the numbers. They find this money like Houdini. They never had it. They charged us 4% because they didn't have any money. here they are, another, half a million. Who cares?
Well,
And
if we make this $532,000 now, the ticket price on this, well, if it was 432,000, we can make the dome smaller and give that extra 100,000 to the hockey players.
And it's a domed columbarium, not just a regular flat roofed one. It's domed. Whatever.
Probably lasts longer that way. In the long run.
Maybe it does. I don't know. Water runs off it better. Maybe they paint the dome like a fresco in Sistine Chapel. Make it look really nice. But anyway, yep, they're going to do that. Which we need.
I hope you didn't give the graffiti artist an idea there.
Frankie Angelo, not Michelangelo. He's dead. But at the end of the day, we're going to need this anyway. But it just irks me, not because they're doing it, but because they said they set the capital budget, and then they come back and they start adding and adding to it, where we didn't have any money because they charged us 4% because we didn't have money. But all of a sudden, they're finding all kinds of money. And John Ringo Beam said that's all the Cogeco money we got for when Cogeco bought the Niagara Regional Broadband. It's like the kids in a candy store. They're just blowing all that money, 7 or 8 million so far. And we don't know what we got with that yet. But that's come out.
Do remember the Penguins reservation about cutting back the budget. I'll find it. You won't like it. Yeah, well, they find even more to add to it. So
exactly. So he should be able to find a million easy.
Yeah.
Let me just don't do these things, and he's got over $1 million. Yep. They put $4.5 million into that place out in Chippewa, so $6.5 million on that the industrial complex thing, the industrial land they bought. So there's the $11 million right there. So this is money we don't have. That's why you're paying 4% more. We don't have the money. Yeah, sure, Bruce. Remember they used to say that, sure, Bruce, when we were in high school.
Oh, yeah, because there was something on TV
somebody
or
shot
something.
You a line of BS, you said, sure, Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay, 8.7 insurance program renewal. Well, $2.183 million for our insurance for all the city and that's just the way it is. And you know what? It's accounted for in the budget, so they knew they were going to be paying it. They pay it every year.
Yeah, it went up over 9%, which was a killer, and that's basically because of the reassessment of what the city owns.
True.
We should have been paying, I suppose, insurance on it all along. But now,
well, as they buy new equipment and everything else, renew it. Like a brand new truck is worth more than a 5 or 6 year old truck. So they assess what you have as far as liability insurance and building insurance and all the insurances, and bada bing, bada boom, 2.2 million. And I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yeah.
It's just the price to operate a city. It's
the fact that it went up 9%, and whether or not they saw it coming. But there was other conditions based on it, basically, and it was said something to do with the assessment of things that they normally hadn't assessed in earlier times.
I get it. Yeah. Things have gone up in price. Things are worth more. So, yeah. Okay, so we move on to the consent agenda, and they just rip through these like crazy. 9.1 development charges, treasurer's statement. So once again, we see some about development charges, what they took in, what they took out, what they let. So it's just they do this all the time just to see what we're doing as far as development charges coming in and what we're going to do with them. And if they're covering what we're spending, that's the main thing, right? Receive and file. 9.2 cancellation, reduction, or refund of taxes under section 357 and 358. And if you know anything about that, you'll know that people sell their properties. They've already paid their taxes in advance, or they get charged and they didn't build or whatever. And they get a refund and all that. It's all legit. It's all accounted for.
Yeah. You see the stuff here. They have a list that somebody on Leader Lane, their house is raised by fire. So they want less taxes. Another one raised by fire, less taxes. This seems to be pretty convenient here. There's the first top 4 are raised by fire.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. You're raised by fire. You paid your taxes. They want to get their money back because they're not living there anymore or whatever. Right?
Yeah. Why should they pay full taxes when they're not really using city services?
Right.
And then here's other repairs and renovations preventing normal use. So there isn't anybody living there. Tax class conversion, gross manifest error. I don't know what that is, but those are the conditions. Most of them are raised by fire, though. The large majority of these properties that need reassessment.
If your house burns down and you don't build it for 3 years, you're not going to pay the city taxes as if you were living there.
That's right, because you're not using the water. you're not using. You know what I mean?
So they rebate you.
Yeah.
That's basically it. 9.3 parking services request for 2024 capital budget amendment. Oh, what do you know? Another one for $45,000.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! And that is basically another capital budget amendment to repair the retaining wall for the parking lot at the medical center on Queen Street between St. Clair and Ontario. Right there. You can see it right there. There's a retaining wall in that parking lot on the other side of the White House there.
Yep.
And that lot, the retaining wall's got to be fixed. So $45,000, which we never had, mysteriously. I mean, there's got to be a money tree behind City Hall. There's a money tree. They just go pick this off of.
Yeah. No austerity program for sure. We want to save $1 million. By the way, we need $45,000 over here, $100,000 there.
Yeah, well, we just saw like about $500,000 to $600,000 in like 3 items.
Yeah,
that they never had because they raised our taxes, so they never had that money.
Well, two things are for sure. They're like, I mean, the three biggest lies is the check is in the mail.
Yeah.
We're going to find $1 million.
And the other one you can't mention.
Yeah.
on public airwaves.
Well, I was thinking of something more. I had changed it to something more
not
city-like,
not for kids.
Yeah.
So we get to the recommendations that approve and support items 10.1 through 10.5. They just bunch them together. 1, flag raising, Nikola Tesla Day. No.
Yeah, what is it with Nikola Tesla? There's a cult out there. Nikola Tesla Boulevard. Remember they wanted to change Bender Hill to Nikola Tesla Drive, right? And Peter Angelo was all over it. He wanted to do it. I think it was him, and the mayor too. But everyone else says, well, wait a minute. Bender was an important historical figure here. And so they what is it with Nikola Tesla? He got ignored for too long. I'll give him that. He was a super genius. And they had a little they had a little stone along the parkway for him, or in the parkway.
Table Rock, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere down
along where the path. Now they got a good big monument to him.
Yeah.
And he's well known all over the place now. But still this cult goes on.
And I love you, Nikola Tesla. Like, you're a great man. You had great stuff, and we should all be getting free power right now if they listen to you. But of course, the powers that be want to charge us. At the end of the day, though, I'm not raising a flag to you. Sorry, we don't raise flags in Niagara Falls. That's just the way it is. Oh, I'm waiting for that bylaw to come down, by the way, because that's not true. Right?
No flags, no nothing.
Arthritis Awareness Month, yes, we're going to recognize that. Proclamation request World Hepatitis Day. I don't know if hepatitis is something you want to celebrate, but yes, let's give them their day.
I think basically they're just trying to get vision, or they want to be a little bit in the limelight so people remember about Hep A, B, and C.
Oh, that's good.
And
that's a good thing.
And it should be eradicated, yeah.
Drop those needles. And then we have proclamation request. This one I don't even know what. International Trimensional Neuralgia Awareness Day. What this is I don't know, but they want their day. Give it to them. No flags though.
What it is a painful muscle disease in the face caused by crimping arteries or something in the back of the head. And very rare. This seems to me rare, but they're looking for recognition too.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I don't mind recognizing, giving them a day, and recognizing these ailments. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think they should educate people what it is.
Yeah, I don't want a trimensional neuralgia awareness day flag. That's what I don't want. And then resolution, Town of Fort Erie, continuation of urgent care center operation of Fort Erie. They shut that urgent care down. They want to open it again. And you know what? I'm all in with that, because how the heck can you have a city and not have any urgent care open 24 hours a day? I just can't even imagine it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a matter of money,
true enough,
and accommodations. You know how they staff, all that stuff, all has to be considered. And unfortunately, somebody's going to lose out somewhere along the line. You and me and everybody else would rather them have that on 24 hours a day, right? 7 days a week, emergency care. You think that would be important for a collection of communities in and around that are close to that. But
I'd say, and they have the same problem in Port Colborne too, so I think that something's got to happen here. I mean, you can't have a city without an emergency. We're talking about an emergency ward. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but it's very hard to staff an emergency ward with equipment they're going to need and all that stuff. I think what they're thinking is they can teach the paramedics enough to keep them alive until they get to Niagara.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do in snowstorms? What are you going to do? Like Fort Erie, Port Colborne, they get bogged down with snows. How are you going to get them out of there?
Even if you just have some beds for real emergencies. I mean, a guy's getting in an accident on Garrison Road, and the guy might not live. They keep him alive, and then they got to transport him all the way to St. Catharines or Niagara Falls. I mean, he just could go like a mile to the hospital there. I mean, it's seconds away, from Garrison Road, and he's taken care of properly. I don't know. I just they should support. They'll support this council, and I think they should.
If you want to stay friends with Fort Erie, you do.
I like Fort Erie too, and I like Fort Erie, and I like all these places. So
it's not Fort Drury.
No,
it's Fort Erie.
Well, it is Fort Drury. It is Drury there. Believe me, I wouldn't want to live there, but I like Fort Erie. I mean, it's always fun to go there and leave.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you go there, grab a pizza, and leave, and just see what it's like these days. Resolutions, comments, communications, comments of the city clerk. So, resolution, Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority attached 2 resolutions from the NPCA pertaining to board direction. Council received the information. It's just different. You go read it if you want. I mean, we can't go through all that, but it's just something they receive so they know what's going on.
Yeah, they're losing ground in the Great Lakes and in and around this way. They were doing well, and they seem to be losing ground according to their studies and all that. They just want reaffirmation for support, etc. I think that's just pretty much for information. I think.
Yeah. Now 11.2. There's a couple of points in here I want to make. Niagara Regional correspondence. And number 1, Niagara Regional motion reaffirming Niagara Region's commitment to the expansion of all-day GO train service to Niagara Falls and back, and St. Catharines and back, and the whole region and back. So yes. Niagara Regional report, PDS, and staff comments on proposed provincial planning statement. Okay, read it.
There's an interesting one among this too. Is the Niagara employment inventory results, which I'd never heard of before.
Yes, and the same with the Niagara Regional reserve water and wastewater treatment capacities. And the one thing I noticed when I read that report was that it shows what a hoax climate change is and global warming are. The reports say there's been no significant increases in the daily flows over the last 3 and 5 year studies, even though City Council is planning for a deluge of water like Noah suffered. So they're already planning for climate change to have more rain than that. And if you took a snapshot of this morning, you might agree with them. That was pretty intense. But basically, the whole thing, you got to wonder, because there's been no changes in Niagara Falls has grown and everything else. But yeah. So, and we went through COVID where a lot of people were locked into their house. So they're using their bathrooms more, they're eating more, they're drinking more and everything. So you think the flows would kind of go up, but no, they didn't for the last 3 to 5 years. And another part of that was what you were talking about, the Niagara employment inventory results.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, did you read that?
Yeah. I was in a hurry reading through it because I hadn't anticipated being here, so I had to catch up. And at first, but it's kind of interesting. It's one of the communities in and around that do that kind of thing, and they kind of look into the employment. And I really didn't look at it closely enough, but it sure looks interesting. Well, sounds like it's trying to gauge who they need, like what we have available in work and who we need.
What I found interesting was, as of 2022, there were a total of 797 businesses considered no longer in operation, with the top 3 being retail trade, accommodation and food services, and other services, except public administration. And that coincides exactly with COVID. They were shutting down businesses. They were making you get a vaccination or you couldn't work. So businesses were shutting down because of that. They wouldn't let people in because of these crazy mandates and mask mandates and vaccination mandates. And a lot of businesses went by the wayside, but all those money-sucking public servants never got laid off. They kept their wages all the way through. Hergy got a raise through the middle of it after he shut down half the businesses. And that's what I got out of this, is that these businesses, that's 800 businesses shut down, no longer in operation as of 2022. Notice public administration was the exception to all that, and that they never lost a dime. They got paid through the whole thing. The full report is available in the city council agenda. So if you want to take a look at it, my advice is to go look and kind of decipher it yourself. But
Public servants don't lose. Look at Catherine Tate from CBC. They laid off a whole bunch of people, and yet her and her cronies still got a huge bonus.
Yep. Yeah,
The
so
public servants don't lose.
Township of Larder Lake, wherever that is, Larder Lake, Harley's resolution regarding the asset retirement obligation, and they received that information. So they're just receiving information from these places. We move over 12 communications and comments of the city clerk. Lundy's Lane BIA budget approved it, no problem. They never have any problems. Escape Color Festival food truck request, yes. Let them have a food truck at this this event at Gale Center. And that's basically that. And then ratification of in camera, which they had. Appointments to the Accessibility Advisory Committee, 12.3. Yeah, they're just telling them the citizen appointments, and they're all going to be approved and everything. So no big deal. Notice of motion, new business. Well, we had a little bit of new business here. 15.1 was the residential parking pass.
Oh, yeah.
Now this really confuses me, because Jim Diodati, Mayor Jim, the Big Show, got up there and he said that he wants to have variable parking rates, so that
dynamic variable
parking rates. So that when times are when they have very few spaces available, they charge more for them, and it changes all day as the need goes. Right, more demand, more pricing. Yeah. Less demand, less pricing, lower prices. So as he's trying to generate more money, he says, hey, any of the residents, if you want to park on city streets for 3 hours, just come and get a $35 pass. You park all you want. And my thing is, what about free? What about free for residents of Niagara Falls? Don't we get any perks in this city?
Should be free, yeah.
Should be free.
So really? everybody can get a card, put it on their dash.
Right, and it's free because you're a resident here. You show your address and your tax bill or whatever.
Besides, they can find out if you're from here anyway by looking at your license plate.
And you know what? Here's the thing: $35. Like, I would never go and get a card because I don't park on the street. I never park on the street anyway. But for people who do and who need that, free. What, $35? That's nothing. These guys, like I tell you, they penny pinch on things like this. Just give it free for residents, and they penny pinch on things like this, and then they blow $100,000 on some crazy thing, right? I don't get it, but anyway, good idea. $35. Congratulations, anybody who wants one. $3 a month, and you're in. My thing is, listen, people, keep your $3. We're giving you a pass for free. That's the perk of living in a casino town where we get $25 million a year. It's the least they can do when they raise our taxes.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Well said.
I don't know nothing.
Well said.
Know nothing. Oh, I should run for mayor. I'm telling you, I know what I would do right away.
Get your soapbox, man. Well, go to this council meeting right now.
Yeah, first of all, I would thank everybody for voting for him, even though I didn't get elected. If I ran for mayor, but seriously,
I would like to thank the 4 people in town that
all those 4, John Ringobeam, and we need John Ringobeam to run. He's always great running.
God, it was never any better without Ray. Like when he was there, him and Salsi and Thompson. Yeah, that was the best. I mean, we had these big debates. Remember, we had election-style debates in the hotels, auditoriums. How good that was!
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story right after we go.
Okay. So let's just get through this first. Provincial Cemetery Management Support Request. At the council meeting, Lori Lococo brought a motion pertaining to cemetery management. Basically, she's looking for funding from the province for abandoned cemeteries. And what happens is that these churches in the old days had the cemeteries right by the church. Or if you go up to Lundy's Lane United Church, right behind it is the Drummondville Cemetery.
Sure.
And what happens is these churches close down or move on, and they leave these cemeteries behind. Now the cities have to take them over and maintain them in that. So Lori's looking for the province to recognize this fact and perhaps give us some money to help deal with them, because it costs us money to maintain them and everything else that goes with them, right? So that's what that's all about. And congratulations, Lori. That's a great idea. No use spending taxpayer money if we can get some from the. Well, I mean, it's all coming out of the same pocket anyway, but it makes it look better if it doesn't come out of the pocket for the municipal government, and the provincial government are giving our money back to us, right, for something.
Yeah, I mean, they take enough. Why don't get some of it back?
Then bylaws. The city clerk's going to read these bylaws, and all of them have been talked about before. This is just kind of ratification of them. Yes, we're going to do it. It's about everything. You can read through them, and you'll see exactly what they're talking about. Nothing there that they're going to discuss. They're just going to say, okay, because it's already been discussed in meetings beforehand.
Yeah, and they've had the opportunity to be able to pull any one of these out prior to this. It says so right in the very beginning. This is like to take care of them all all at once. But if anyone has any issue with it prior to this, they can remove one.
Yeah, and they've talked about these in city council meetings before. They're just ratifying them now, and that's it. And then after we get through that, it's an adjournment, and that's a wrap, folks. And now Dave's going to tell us the story.
No, I can't tell it on here. I can't tell it on here. I was going to tell you.
Okay. The time. We're going in camera. Anyway, that's it. Check it out. 4:00, the meeting starts. It's probably going to go to 9 or 10 tonight. There's a lot here. Like you see, we're at well over an hour, 60, 70 minutes discussing it. So you can imagine what's going to happen when they discuss it. Multiply that times 6, 7, 8 times, right? And but check it out. Go in there, take the agenda, look at the agenda with it, so you know where you're going. We've talked about the things you want to watch, so keep an eye on them, and know what your city council is doing, because it's your tax money they're spending. They're spending your money, so you want to make sure they're spending it right. And if you don't know what's going on, they just can do anything.
Yes, ask questions. You have counselors. Ask them questions.
If you have questions,
and if they don't answer you, phone them.
Yeah, phone them, text them. And you know what? If you ever have any questions about the agenda before we're going to do it, just get them to me or even Wheels, and then we'll answer them or talk about them when we get on the show. So unfortunately, I'm using my phone, so you can't text me on the phone. You can't message me on the phone. We don't take phone calls because it's hard to get through this in the time that we have. So basically, if you ask beforehand, we'll bring them up. If you have any questions when the agenda comes out, we'll definitely bring them up and discuss them, right, Wheels?
Yeah. Even after that, if you have some issue after the meeting's been done, the following time we could probably touch on it the next time we do an agenda.
Sure, and then we'll know how they voted on it after the fact anyway. Also, for the next 2 meetings in July and August, they start at 1:00 in the afternoon. Council decides they're going to do them early so they can get home and barbecue by 5, but they never get home till 10 anyway. It doesn't matter. But at that point, I think it's time for us
midnight barbecue.
It's time for us to go to their barbecue.
That's right.
But what we're going to do is do it on Mondays. Monday will be the day that we do the city council agenda review in July and August, just so that we can get it in before the day of, because by the time we finish the show, they've already started meeting and you won't be able to watch it live anyway. You can watch it on YouTube anytime. They have it there all the time. So we'll do it on Monday. We'll talk about it. I have nothing else to say, Wheels.
I'm done too.
Okay, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Go to our YouTube, watch this video on YouTube, give it a like if you get a chance. We will talk to you tomorrow with Absolutely All Habs All Show. My name is Paul K. Lemire. I'm here with my co-host for City Council Agenda Meetings, Dave Wheels Wheeler. We're out of here. We're in the beautiful studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls. Have a great day, everybody. It's hot out there. Grab yourself a cool one. Grab yourself a chair. Grab yourself a nice tree. And when I call a tree a cooling center, that's my cooling center. And have a good day. Ciao, ciao.